What is the headshot? Why do we call it the headshot? We're looking for a pinpoint entry location. Would be very, very difficult to do this by hand on your own, but with Algobox, this trade is quite simple. Again, you can start trading this strategy tomorrow. This is not one that requires a lot of prereq stuff. This is one of the favorites in our room. It's a very, very powerful strategy. Who doesn't love a good headshot? And Algobox allows you to cheat and get a headshot. Anybody who's been in our crew for a while should probably see a headshot right here. This is the headshot. If you are looking for this, I'm going to tell you about the rest of the rules and the details about how this works internally, the stops to targets and all that kind of stuff. Okay, the white crosses are what we're looking for here. Very simple and easy to see. We've got the head right there. The head is green. What do we got on it? We've got a crosshair on it. Simple, right? If you're a gamer, you know that you're trying to put your crosshair on the head, pull the trigger. What are we looking for this? So we're looking for a long entry on these. We're typically targeting a 10, 15, and 25 tick target out of a scenario like this. As soon as you punch in on that button, we're looking for a 10 target, a 15 target, a 25, and oftentimes we're pushing out for runners. Now, this is on the lowest time frames. Again, everything that we kind of adjust for, this is an Algobar 1. The main thing we focus on this strategy is where the stop goes. Very simple. Some people might say, well, Vinny, that just looks like you're putting a pivot stop. I'll show you some other examples where that is not the case. We're actually looking to put your stop at the back of the cross. So if you are taking notes, goes at the back of the cross. It's not the pivot, just happens to be on this one particularly. There is a pivot right there and it's in the same place, right? You got the tip of the pivot, we've got the head there, and we also have the cross. So our stop here on this one is going to go just below the cross by 1 tick. You could do 2 ticks if you want, but usually I really just put it right on it because in reality, this is also a trade that if it did stop out, you could retry that even if you got in, and it's really just going to cost you a couple of ticks and some commissions to get in. And again, this is one of those that we've got a huge risk reward on working in our favor on a headshot. So we've got the head, we've got the cross, targets 1, 2, and 3. Again, this is going to be a 10, a 15, and a 25 on a small. So remember these first two on our groupings. If we are on these, we are looking for the small targets. What is our small? That is going to be, by definition for us, is the 10 and the 15. And then runners. On a 3, this is the one that has a little bit of leeway. This one will depend on other time frames, but I will keep that 3 in my sights as well. But this is one that I want to use other things to tell me whether or not I'm moving out that first target out farther. Now, if it shows up on a level 5 or an 8, here I'm going to be looking for the large ATM. Now remember, when we're talking about these two, this is in relation to the ATMs. And if you don't know what that is, again, you really need to go back and watch some other videos. But when we're choosing in here, we try to simplify things. So we really are only choosing from 2 of those ATMs that oftentimes I will only use 1 ATM. I will use the smaller one, the 10 and the 15, and anytime that I'm looking and entering in on a 5 or 8 level or above, then I will actually be taking my 10 target, sliding it out, grabbing that tag, right? For in this case, this is the 10 target. I will grab that and I will move it out around the 20 or the 25. Therefore, that secondary target, meaning that my first target is actually the large target, which is the 15. Now, on the higher time frames, we are looking for a 15 and a 25 tick target. At the end of the day, really, even if you flubbed up the stops and the targets, as long as you get the stop right, look, targets we can, the market can move, the market can run. We are typically looking to get the 10 and 15, 10 and 15, 15 and 25, and just, making that pay. As a professional, we're just looking for consistency. We're not trying to sit there and just, show off or knock it out of the park every day, although we have a plan around doing that in 5 trades per session. So we saw a long version of that strategy earlier. Here is a short version. Here we have a red headshot here, and we've got the cross on it. Boom. Really easy shot, right? Now, when we get that blue dot, we know that's a runner exit. This is a real nice headshot, and this is an example where the pivot was not right there at the cross. You see where the stop goes on this one? So the stop is down below the cross. This one's very, very easy to see, nice and big and clear. We've got a green headshot here, green dot, boom. That crosses right on it. Now, some questions around this. Some people have asked, well, Vinny, does the crosshair have to be exactly on the head like it does in a video game? Well, ideally, yes. However, we know that in this game, this is sort of like horseshoes and hand grenades. Closest to the pin wins. It does not have to be exactly on the dot. For that rule, it does not have to be directly on the dot, but it needs to be within 2 or 3 bars. If it's not within 2 or 3 bars of that, it does not count. Because what we're looking for is the confluence of this location. And remember, this is a Fibella dot. We know we have an Elliot wave. We know we have a multi-fib at this location. Depending on the coloring of it, we know if we've got additional levels of confluence and how many of those there are. We got power inside of the dot, plus active massive order flow algos kicking in at this location, knowing that this is going to be a location where we ideally have a nice pivot for ourselves where we can take nice beautiful run. Now, helps that we had longs favorable with us. I don't see up here what the algo matrix was, but likely in this case we also had the MACV along with longs favorable going there, which helped us to get, in this case, I would be looking, now remember, see how this one's on a 2? So pop quiz, you should be asking yourself, or know, that if you are on a 1 or a 2, then we should be looking for a 10 and a 15 as our default. If we have longs favorable and it's in our direction, what can we be looking for? Then we can also be having a runner. If this said shorts favorable, can I take a runner? No. The answer is no. Here's where we are looking for, really, if we have any kind of hesitation around our first target, what are we doing? We're pulling the plug, right? If we are going against our order of operations, which again, you will learn in our program, you can go and watch those even if you are coming in as a free guest of ours. And of course, you'd come hang out in our Algo audio room inside of our Discord as well. Again, this is an example where cross is not exactly on the dot. You see how it's off by, it looks like 1 bar, like 1.5-ish bars right there. There is the green dot, there is the cross, boom, headshot, nice move up, green means up, red means down, pretty simple. Now, in this case, man, this is a real nice setup right here. So we've got the first headshot, boom, up, exit on the red dot, easy peasy, right? Can't see, favorable direction. If this thing starts to kick you, you need to have that thing staring you in the face telling you, yeah, you tried to get tricky with it, but you went against the favorable direction. And especially for new folks, do not trade against that favorable direction. All right, we won't harp on that too much. This is a nice double dot scenario with a double headshot on this. I would be looking for a much bigger play out of this. I'm surprised that this one ended up wrecking back down into it, but still, you're getting your 15 target out of that. That is a nice play there. Wish I could see the favorable direction. I can actually, you know what? I can tell this is not. This is a shorts favorable, so I'm going to take this away. I can tell by the angle of this chart here. I don't know who took this screenshot. Somebody has the wrong setup here going on, so somebody should be some slap hands on this, but I can tell why this one doesn't work out too well. We've got shorts favorable on this. Somebody asked if we're one tick wonder. Well, that's true. You got a one tick wonder there, but you're going against favorable direction. So what are we doing? We're literally taking it off at 10 ticks. That's it. 10 ticks, this thing starts to hesitate, or in case like this, we get the red dot here before it, we have to exit and we have to respect those red dots and close out and know that our first target is all we're looking for if we're going against favorable direction. Well, that's an easy one, right? Can you see that headshot? I think you can. Again, why we love this setup, it's such a clean setup. It's just, you know, so easy to see. Look at this one right here. Nice red headshot. Awesome. This one, we've got a lot going on here. This is a headshot with multi-cross. This is a nice scenario. I have a feeling that one worked out pretty well. Shorts favorable, red dot coming in there. A little bit of a trickier one. Again, I just want to show you guys a myriad of different setups. This one has been placed in the wrong location. We do have a double cross here inside of a PRZ. That is a nice PRZ double cross, but I do not see a headshot. Here we go, pop quiz, where's the stop go? Okay, the stop does not go at the top of the pivot. Our stop is gonna go up here above the cross. We're looking for a short. We got a red dot, boom, and there is that headshot. Boom, headshot, too easy. Is this getting a little too easy? Yeah, it is. Let's see what that is. That is a 24 down to 14. That is 40 tick drop right there on this trade. This is a Algobar 2s, so that is a level 2. And that is a 40 tick drop right there, and it doesn't even look like this drop is completed yet. Here's a smaller one, headshot. You seen it? Hopefully you guys do. Let's show you guys some action shots. You guys are probably tired of seeing just the regular stuff. Let's look what happens when you combine the power of the headshot. See it right there? Here's one in action. Boom, headshot entry long right there. Targets up here into the PRZ. You'll learn how to use PRZ targets. You see the gold boxes up here that tell us that we are looking for a target out there. We're not looking for multi-targets on this case. I put all the targets up into the PRZ box. Now, why did I do that? We got shorts favorable, yet I'm taking a long. So shorts favorable, but I'm taking a long. I cannot take runners. On this big move up here, I might have been tempted to, but if I'm following the rules, that can be the case. And now you actually see, as this trade goes up, look how quick that kind of started to turn back. If this were longs favorable, oftentimes those will chugga and just keep on going. But we've got that shorts favorable. The system really tells you when you're doing something wrong, right? It's very clear. Let the tools do the work. That's what we talk about around here. Perfect headshot on that. Look at that big move. That one happened to go against shorts favorable on that one. That one happened to work out pretty well. Again, they can just go sometimes. Let's look at this one. All right, now that one looks like I might have had a miniature little mistake there. I hope I took some off at that red dot that showed up. Let's see. So we can clearly see the headshot. I was way behind on that entry. Hopefully this is one where I was adding to that position, or it happened so fast. Yeah, I'm pretty far behind on that. So late entry on that, and that red dot showed up and got pierced completely straight through. So kind of got a little bit lucky on that, but that's the power of the headshot. When one of these headshots comes in, you know, some people might say, well, why even take a headshot against the favorable direction? Have you seen a couple examples that I just showed a minute ago? The headshot is so powerful. When you've got order flow coming in at a point of confluence that also has multi-fib, Elliot wave, and the multi-confluence that comes behind our dots themselves, you definitely want to take a swing at it. Now, whether I'm going to be smashing a big one or a small one, that's going to depend on other factors, what the market is currently doing, where algo matrix is. Double headshot right there, boom, with the dropout, targets filled, huge run. Wish we could have gotten shorts favorable with that, and I likely didn't hold that all the way out there. But if you saw the PRZ down there, there is a potential to have taken that one, but a little bit tough when you've got longs favorable. Now, hopefully I had MACV red. Yes, we did. Again, we have two filters as we are choosing our direction. This looks like I also had the red, so might have actually held that one out. But this one looks like I've got nice MACV telling me that I've got the opportunity to take shorts here. We get that headshot, boom, can take that for a ride. If this thing comes back up and turns green though, possibly not. This is a good power headshot. So we've got a blue. Now, if you have been following along with us for any period of time, you know that blue is our most powerful long entry signal. This is actually quite clear when this shows up. You got a big blue dot right here. You got a white cross. I mean, the thing's screaming at you to get long right here. This is a huge play. We've got longs favorable. This is one of those that when I teach you in the final 40 days how to ride out winners, how to maximize your winners, these are the kind that you kind of salivate at the mouth for. A power dot getting in. You can increase your size. You can hold longer. You got favorable direction. You probably also looked over and you had the MACV screaming at you that you can hold this long position. How do we hold this all the way out? Holy shnikes, all the way to a pink dot. We go from power to power. Beautiful runner on that one. Longs favorable always tells us we're going to try to hold out those runners. Nice headshot right there. Big drop off out of there. So NT8 looks a little bit different. We do not have a crosshair in NinjaTrader 8. So we can clearly see big white marshmallow there. Look at the head on this one, okay? Head, there's the crosshair. We also had a blue level here. Great place for look for a pivot. That tells us everything. Here is an add to position on a pink dot, which is one of our most powerful to add. This one, very clear. That's what one's gonna look like. Now this one, we also had timing lines. Hopefully those of you guys who are old timers with me, you guys should know that's also timing. How about this one over here? You see that one? That one is a red PRZ plus headshot. Are you joking me? That is going to be huge, huge one. Very, very nice setup for an entry on that. Too easy to see. Look at the before and after on that. Headshot continues to just drop out almost immediately. It gives you a signal even for an exit on that one when timing comes in along with a headshot. Again, additional confluence. We're not saying take this all by itself. We do. In fact, I do almost every time. I'm a P90 guy. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna take shots at each one. I'll close them out quickly if they're not working, but I also like to hold them out if I get the opportunity where I'm going with the favorable direction. This one happened to also be shorts favorable, so shorts are the direction I'm looking for. I get that headshot set up in there. Boom, I get a green dot that tells me I can exit for my runner. Pretty easy strategy. Hopefully you guys got a lot out of that and you know how to play it. 55.75 today with a 2.1 profit factor. That means my winners were two times the size of my losers. Jerry, how'd Jerry do today? 14.62. Profit factor 3.17. Leanne 1350, 2.32 profit factor, 54% profitable. My right hand man Curtis G, 75% profitable. Look at this profit factor, 8.42. He was closing out his losers quick and letting his big ones go. 8 times the size of his losers. Amazing work there, CG. JC 2060, 75% profitable, 2.81 profit factor, almost 3 times the size on his winners versus losers. Stingox, $275. Micros Trader, awesome work there, my friend. Profit factor 1.23, 66% profitable. Robster, almost making $1,000 today. Profit factor 3.72. That's almost 4 times the size of his losers. There are 3 videos, particularly, that you need to know. Here is Flowmaster Trading Part 1, 2, and 3. This will cover the visual components as well as the audio components, primarily in Part 3, where we go over the audio parts where you can actually hear the sound and aggressiveness of the markets. Curtis and I did a little joke one night and tried it out. Tried to literally trade with our eyes closed, to trade only with our ears. Let's just say the results were epic. We were kind of a little bit of a competition. Yes, we were doing the Sam. But Curtis beat me. He hit $13,000 in less than an hour. I hit $11,000, and of course we were trying to push it, but it was a matter of being able to determine direction literally by listening to the sound and aggressiveness on the tape through Audiobox. It's the only system out there that can do that, and I think you should come try it out.
Get filled.
That's the bassy sound. That short's coming in. Yep, you can tell. Shorts coming in hard right there. All right, folks, thanks for hanging out for me. Pippi, Robbie, Lunchbot, Mod Squad, Curtis G, and the rest of the gang. I'm sending out that big H-Town.